Welcome to the Innovators Insider Podcast. I'm Richard Doyle, and I'm flying solo this week. My friend and co-host, Michael LaFleche, the professor, he's taking a well-deserved vacation. In recognition of our 20th episode, I'd like to take a minute just to recognize and thank all of our listeners and subscribers. And I know I speak for Michael when I say that we really appreciate all the likes, all the views, all the comments. And don't forget, too, you can join us live every 3 weeks when we analyze the latest Onshape release. We open up the comments, and we really enjoy interacting live with the audience. So check the Onshape forums for the improvements to Onshape post, and you'll find a link to the live show there. For today, we've got a great show today. We're going to be featuring 3 of our Onshape partners, OnScale, Cad Sharp, and Phenometry. Most are part of the Onshape App Store. That's a modern marketplace where you shop for these and many other solutions. And like Onshape, many of those applications are cloud-built. So it's really easy to get a trial, just a couple of clicks away. And so to tell us a little bit more about the partner program and the App Store, we're going to bring in my first guest. Welcome, Onshape Partner Success Manager, Aaron Magnan.
Hey, Richard. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Thanks for coming on the show, Aaron. We really appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to have to give you one correction to start. I have a new title. I'm App Store Manager now.
Well, all right. A promotion. Fantastic. Well, I'm sure well-deserved, Aaron.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself and what you do as the Onshape Partner Manager?
Sure. So my name is Aaron. I think you guys all gathered that already. I am the App Store Manager, which means I help our app partners to, market themselves to our internal teams and externally. So what Richard is showing you right now is actually, one of my favorite things to work on. It's the What's New in the App Store. Try to do it quarterly, but it doesn't always work out like that. But in that update, we tell you about new apps that are coming, new apps that have arrived, updates, and other exciting things happening in the App Store. I guess I didn't really introduce you to myself. I'm a mechanical engineer by background, so I've used these products. I use all of them. I enjoy, and I work through all the various products, and it's a joy to work with these guys, and it's really exciting to see what they're all working on. So,
and as a mechanical engineer, it must be, that must be probably your favorite part of the job, is getting to actually look at and try and use and even give some feedback on all of these different apps, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I do get to get involved with helping shape the direction of them. If there's something that we think needs to be altered, then we can give them that feedback. Or if there's something that we love, we're going to let them know that as well. So it's absolutely fantastic to see all these new technologies coming through. And there's always, at least 5 in the pipeline. So, I wish I could tell you about what's coming next, but you'll just have to wait for that. What's new, which I'm actually supposed to deliver this week, so I should get to work on that.
Very nice, very nice. Wow, like a kid in a candy store, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, we've got 3 of those partners here with us today. We're going to bring them in one at a time, and we'll let them talk a little bit about themselves and what they do. And I'm sure you have some questions for them as well. So we're going to start with a company called Phenometry, and they've got a product out called Phi that I think is just really fantastic. But let's go ahead and bring in Stefanos. And we'll let him describe the product. And I think we probably got a video to show too, right, Stefanos? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Stefanos.
And so I'm one of the founders and developers of Phi, which is a connected application in the Onshape App Store. And Phi basically is a freeform surface modeler. So we try to make editing objects that have freeform and organic surfaces a little easier and faster, if possible. And we've been developing Phi for a long time, and it's constantly evolving. But it's at a stage now where I think we can help designers build their models faster without sacrificing quality of the surfaces and continuity and all of these things that everyone is interested in.
Yeah. So where are you coming to us from there?
Oh, yeah. We're actually based in Athens, in Greece, far away. And yeah, but we've all
little late for you there. How you doing?
Yeah, but that's fine. I'd be coding otherwise. So it's
Yeah.
actually it's a nice
Yeah,
break.
I imagine you're up pretty late. You're kind of that, Mediterranean lifestyle, staying up nice and late.
Yeah. Uso
Cool.
and all that.
Well, thanks for the introduction to Phi. I did want to correct one thing you said. You said it was a connected cloud app, but I do want to make sure to actually mention it's an integrated cloud app. So it's it's built directly into Onshape.
Yep.
When you're using Phi, you add it like you add a tab to create a drawing or create an assembly or whatever you're doing. You hit the plus sign there. You say add application. You find Phi in the drop down, and then you're off making these very complex models that technically you could do them probably in Onshape, but it would take a lot more steps, right? So Phi gives you some unique capabilities when it comes to creating these shapes.
Yeah, it's a different. Thanks for the correction. You're absolutely right. I used the wrong term. So yeah, it's a different way of designing. It's more organic, push and pull, direct modeling, and fast. And we take advantage of all of the features that Onshape uses. So it's a back and forth between Phi and Onshape. You start something in Phi maybe, then you push it over to Onshape and add more features on that, and then you can update your work in Phi and have a live update, as we call it, within Onshape as well. And all the downstream features we may have added, like fillets or shelling or anything, will be preserved for you. And so we think that it's an interesting way to design and model.
Yeah, for sure. So the way I would foresee someone using it is, up front you're doing some conceptual design and you're using Phi to create these really organic shapes. I've heard that some people don't like that term, but I'm going to say it anyway. But you make these real organic shapes, and then you need to take it to production, and you're gonna add like you're saying, you're gonna add fillets or like snap hooks or grooves or whatever it might be if you're working on a plastic part, and you do all that stuff in Onshape. And if you go back and you update the Phi model later on, all the downstream features should update. I mean, unless it's like a crazy drastic change, but yeah. It's a fantastic workflow that you guys have enabled our users.
So Stefanos, let's go ahead and take a look at the video. I understand you're going to describe the process for us here.
Right. So this is a simple example I thought that starts completely from scratch. So I thought, well, how about designing a set of wireless earbuds? And I really designed them on paper with pencil, and then I brought these sketches into Onshape. And then we launched Phi, which, as you see, is in a tab within Onshape. And I started with a simple cylinder, which would be part of the stem, the main body of these earbuds. And then I load all these reference sketches. You can load as many as you want, and then position them, rotate them, do anything you want with them. And I shift my cylinder in place, roughly where I would like to start designing. By the way, I'm not a designer by profession, so this is just a quick example. And then I think, okay, how about starting from the lower part? So first I squeeze this cylinder because I see that it's not actually a cylindrical shape that I'm after. It's more like an oval section, as you can see there. And then I simply pull out this vertex to give it this rounded shape at the bottom. I pull it a little further out. It's very push and pull kind of thing. And then I use a tool that we call Smoothen, where you create edges, chains of edges, you select them, and then you ask the system to smoothen everything together to give it a fair and rounded shape. And usually with just a couple of clicks, you can get to the shape you're after, but you can also go in and do more elaborate or precise work. And then I move a little further up. I will simply elongate the cylinder all the way to the top, and then I do a pop out, which is kind of an extrude. So I create another little slice, which I can then move around, rotate. Here I use a precise rotation tool, and I place it roughly on that line. I stretch it to give it the dimensions that I'm after. And then I rotate on the other view, and I also deform it like that. And as you see, the surfaces organically constantly deform to accommodate the shapes that I try to give. Here, I'm just flipping around this reference sketch. I brought it in the wrong orientation, but I thought that I could just show how you can place it again. And then I continue the design work. So I select this front face, I pull it further down, and then from the front side, I will again select and pop out, do a little extrude of this face, as you saw there. And then again, I will use this smoothening tool. So I will select all these triplets of edges, these small chains, as you see. And with just one click, I will ask Phi to deform and smoothen everything together. So you see, immediately it gives me a shape that is quite close to what I'm after, because it's the most fair and smoothened shape that corresponds to these geometries. Then from the front, I realize that I have a circular shape, which is not what I'm after. So simply by pulling out this little edge on one side, it all deforms to give me a shape that's closer to my design. I see a slight dip there because Phi now thinks that this is what I'm interested in, but just by adding a straight line, I can get rid of it. And anyway, this will be fixed in a moment, as you will see. So at this point, we already have a shape that is pretty close to what we are after. I go in the rear side and I simply pull out this edge and the surface is deformed to take that shape. And then I will finish off the front side by simply squeezing in those the front side of this earbud. And then from the top view, I do a little more editing. So I'll push it back and I will tilt it and put it there in place roughly. Okay, we're not going for perfection here. This is just to give you an idea of how you can work with this tool pretty fast. And then once more, the smoothen tool, I select these edges and I simply hit smoothen. But before that, I also set the smoothen strength. So this strength will allow me to get a more, let's say, strong result, a more rounded shape. And now simply with a click, I'm sending this over to Onshape, and there it is, translated into a Part Studio. So now all of the Onshape power is in my fingertips. I can add a fillet, as we were discussing earlier, and there it is. And so if I decide that I want to do some further edits, like here I'm doing sort of an offset, and then I push in this surface to create a hole, roughly where the music will be coming out from, as you see there. So I do this little edit, and then I click send to Onshape once again, there on the left. And back in Onshape, after a few seconds, you will see a live update. So there you go. The shape has changed, but the fillet is still in place. So all of these downstream features are preserved, as we were discussing. And now, simply using all of the Onshape capabilities, I do a mirror, then I do a shelling of these shapes, and with a section view, I can observe the surfaces from the outside, from the inside, until I'm happy that it's the result that I'm after. And actually, we have a consultant who's a very experienced designer, and we asked him to have a go at further working on these earphones to get to a final product. Yeah, so that's just to give you an idea of what it feels like to work with this tool.
That's awesome. That is really good stuff.
Thank you.
Fantastic demonstration. I mean, that was like essentially real time, maybe sped up a little bit, but I mean, the fact that you could get all that done in whatever 5 minutes, 3 minutes that you use, that's incredible.
Yeah, we wanted to show that because often people, when they first have a look at Phi, they're a little not sure how to start. So I just wanted to go from zero to all the way to the end. By the way, it's available on the App Store. There's a free 1-month trial. We offer free educational licenses to educators and students at all levels. And we try to support our users as much as possible. We try to be interactively involved.
Yeah, and Richard had your website up there, so make sure to visit their website. Visit them in the App Store if you want to subscribe to the app. You'll be up and running in literally like 2 minutes. It's that fast.
That was great stuff, Stefanos, and we really appreciate you being on the show. And
thank you.
Thank you for your time, and thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll talk to you again soon.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Take care. Yeah.
Wow, that's a fantastic product. That makes it to where even a guy like me, who big chunks of steel and socket head cap screws, my entire career, might be able to pull off some surfacing every now and then.
Yeah, not everything's a prismatic part, right? You gotta get those earbuds, the vase. There's all kinds of things that you could design with Phi, and the round trip is really where it's at. I mean, being able to
Yeah.
go back and make changes and have it propagate to those later mechanical features is priceless.
Yep, that was outstanding. Well, our next guest, let's go ahead and bring him in here in a second, isn't necessarily in the App Store, but he is an Onshape partner. So let's welcome in Keith Rice from Cad Sharp. Hello, Keith. Welcome to the show.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
You betcha.
Great.
Loud and clear.
It's great to have you here. I know you by reputation, and I have to think that at some point over the last 22 years or so, we've actually met in person somewhere.
We have twice, in fact.
Yeah, we have, but certainly your reputation is far and wide in the CAD community, and I know that everybody really, really appreciates the work that you do. So thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I did want to say it's kind of funny. You don't actually have an app in the App Store, but I mean, we wanted to include you in this because you guys are doing some fantastic work with a lot of our really key accounts. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Keith Rice. I started Cad Sharp about 11 years ago, actually. Been in the CAD community a while. Started off with SolidWorks, and now I'm working a lot with Onshape, and so pretty well known there. Started off doing training in just general like CAD automation, that kind of thing, and then moved more into consulting. And now with Onshape, we're actually doing a variety of services. We're offering mechanical design services. We're still doing software development, of course. That's our bread and butter. And then we've also just moved into technical support for particular companies, creating not general technical support, which you all obviously do for the software, but technical support that's very specific to customer processes. So we're kind of coming in and just filling in a lot of holes, filling a lot of gaps. And I have to give a shout out to Joe Dunn, by the way, because he's the one that really courted me and got me connected with Onshape. He didn't give up on me over the years, and really appreciate him.
Joe's a swell guy. I know him pretty well. So yeah, I think one of the things you do is you actually make custom features for some accounts.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about the custom software development we do. Unfortunately, since a lot of what we do is very proprietary and for specific customers, I can't do as much demoing. But with the last partner you were talking to regarding surfaces, that's actually kind of how we started development in Onshape. I can mention Garrett Motion by name. They said I could mention that we're working with them. They develop turbochargers, and basically they have a huge amount of imported geometry from other CAD software. It's coming into Onshape, and they need those models cleaned up so that Onshape surfacing tools can then be used to create additional lofts, thickness, all sorts of things. So I guess the simplest way to say it is we started off just kind of writing feature scripts that would massage the imported models so that they could be used more easily with Onshape's surfacing tools. And honestly, the details of that gets really, really nitty gritty. I mean, we're working down at the B-spline level. We're getting really crunchy with the computational geometry. So it's fun to get that deep into the software, see what the kernel can do. We're definitely pushing the boundaries of what Onshape's Parasolid kernel can do. But I think even Onshape's feature script and API tech support team has kind of been surprised at what we've proven you can do in the software. So Onshape, despite being new, it's really, really amazing what you can do with feature scripts. So my hat's off to you all for developing that. It's just an incredible, incredible piece of technology.
I'll go ahead and say you're welcome, even though I really don't. You're all part of that.
Yeah, ditto for that for me too. So as a guy that's written lots and lots of codes, it must be really exciting to get your hands on something new like feature script, right?
It is. It's definitely a different beast from macros like we've worked with in other CAD softwares, but the way the feature scripts are designed from the ground up, they basically just remove a tremendous amount of the tedium of coding, a lot of the boilerplate code that you would have to write in other CAD software, and it kind of just lets you dive right into the meat, dive right into this, just writing incredibly powerful functionality. So it's honestly remarkable how quickly you can put together a feature script that does something entirely novel and new. It's just a very well thought out system. And so we have feature scripts we're writing for a variety of customers that do everything from automate initial designs just to get busy work out of the way, to automating volute surface generation, preparing imported geometry for surfacing, as I mentioned. We have another app we're working on that just takes bill of materials, and from that can create an entire assembly. We have other feature scripts that allow non-engineers or just designers to prepare models for CFD. So really wide variety in what we're doing, and it's all possible through either feature script or sometimes the Onshape API as well.
I will say, I think you're downplaying, how hard or easy it is to make feature scripts. I mean, I've tried to do it and I've really struggled, and I want to make sure that, if there's other Onshape users out there who have struggled, to reach out to Keith and his team, because they can help you out. They can help make you any feature script, any custom feature that you might need. I mean, it's really incredible what they've been able to do.
Yeah, I'll jump in there and say, I know that you all have just come out with a feature script course. I've not gone through it yet, but I'm sure that's going to be fantastic. We do offer custom training on that point. And also, I will say, the developers that work with me, the ones I've been able to find over the years, are incredibly talented and smart. And we just love working with Onshape. In fact, I'm not going to name drop here, but coming from certain other CAD softwares to Onshape, it does have a little bit of the, okay, we don't want to go back effect. Like it's just really cleanly thought out, because you all created it from the ground up with the feature script in mind. It doesn't feel tacked on, because you all are creating the native Onshape features using your own feature script. And that's so cool that you're basically giving us developers the exact same tools that you use to create the features. That's just fantastic and very well thought out.
It's always nice to hear something like that. Thanks.
Yep. Sure is.
Now, doing a trial for Cad Sharp is a little bit more difficult than some of our other partners, but how would you suggest that someone, get in contact with you? When I see Richard split the
yeah, so we're very low pressure when it comes to people contacting us. If somebody has an idea, contact us. We'll do a free discovery call. We want to learn about what you're doing in Onshape. We're always interested just to see what people are making. Another one of our customers who I have permission to mention is Trek Bicycle Corporation. They reached out to us, and we're creating some really cool features for them that speed up their design process. And it all just starts with a conversation. No pressure, and our developers are the ones that are working directly with the customer. We don't have this layer of sales teams. Our developers want to be talking to other engineers because we're engineers. Most of us are actually mechanical engineers who just became really passionate about coding and decided to get our hands dirty in that world. And so yeah, just reach out. We do training, we do mechanical design, we do custom software development, and we'll do it with a feature script or the API. So some of these other partners you're talking to who are trying to make the connected apps or the integrated apps, frequently they will reach out. A company like that will reach out to us for an integration. We've done a lot of integrations for people, and that's just one of many services we provide.
And you guys provide some really fantastic services to our users, so I have to thank you. So thanks, Keith.
Well, it's been great catching up again, Keith.
Absolutely.
I apologize that I've forgotten the exact 2 times that we've actually met in person, but
well, one time was in an airport, and you were clearly burnt out after that. The end of the week.
I remember those days for sure. Well, it's been great having you on the show, Keith. You've done a lot of great things for the CAD community and for SolidWorks users in the past years, and I anticipate you're going to do a lot of great things for the Onshape users too. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me on.
Like everybody else, we hope we get to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you. Wow,
What's
that's always
what's next?
I always enjoy catching up with folks from the old days, and gosh, I feel really bad that I don't remember when I met him in person. So,
Yeah, how many user group meetings have you been to?
oh, I don't know, 500 or so, something like that. So we're not done yet. We've got one more partner with us today, and let's go ahead and bring in Ian Campbell from Onscale.
Hello.
There he is. Hello, Ian. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Welcome, Ian. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself personally?
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer by undergrad, and then aerospace engineer and MBA, master's at Georgia Tech. I was a SolidWorks fanboy for many years, but then once Onshape came out, I was like, oh man, this is the future of CAD, this is the future of engineering. I love the product so much that I created a company called Onscale and ripped off your branding and name and everything. And now I understand I'm in trouble because it's one of the reasons why people started capitalizing the S in Onshape, which you shouldn't do. That's
Yes,
only Onscale.
Oh man, don't let our marketing team ever see you capitalizing the S in Onshape. They will be very upset. Let's just say.
We have a whole staff of people that go out on the internet every day and look for that. So
Yeah,
be careful.
Yeah, apologies.
We'll let it slide though.
Cool.
Well, thanks for the intro. Georgia Tech, that's an okay school, I hear. You're also getting a private pilot's license. Is that what I hear?
I have the license now, so you can legally fly with me. I don't know if you should, but you can legally.
He did crash his drone though the other day, so if that tells you anything about his flying skills.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, just giving you a hard time. I mean, it's an amazing accomplishment to learn how to fly an airplane. So tell us a little bit about Onscale then.
Well, Onscale is a simulation platform. I think of it, I was a big fan of SolidWorks and SolidWorks simulation back in the day, back in the desktop era. You remember those days, right? When you had to do engineering on a
unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, so it was a major drag. But anyway, I think of Onscale as the Onshape simulation. We've tried to make a very integrated CAD and simulation experience, just like that SolidWorks simulation experience. It's a two-way street, so you can bring in CAD models to Onscale. You can run simulations. If you update your CAD, your Onshape CAD, we'll detect it and we'll notify you, and you can rerun the same simulations or sets of simulations that you've already defined with the new CAD. We've got capabilities for parametric CAD. In fact, we've got a pretty cool feature I want to show you today where we can actually interrogate the Onshape mates and create simulation boundary conditions based on the Onshape mates that you put in your assembly. So we've really tried to create what we consider to be our ideal simulation environment to match the fantastic CAD environment that you guys have built.
And we can take a look at that with a couple of videos, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that something you want to take a look at now?
Sure. Yeah, let's take a look.
All right.
So first thing I'll show you is an aerospace application. I had to do that since I'm an aerospace engineer and now a pilot. But this is a wing. You got some ribs, you got spars. You can see that it's a pretty complex assembly, lots of different parts. We can easily set up some simulation boundary conditions, like we'll constrain one end of the wing. We'll put a pressure load or force load, pressure load on another part of the wing, put in 800 pascals. Some engineer probably figured out that was the wing loading for this particular wing. And then we'll see, what the simulation results in. And by the way, we're generating a mesh here. This is all happening automatically. I didn't have to go in and, put in a bunch of settings and tweak my mesh. That's always the hardest part about simulation, especially for younger engineers, to figure out the optimal mesh in terms of accuracy and runtime. And then now I'm going to show you how we can actually go into our scripting language. We took a cue from you guys. This is kind of like our feature script, but we call it Sim API. And I can actually put in a mathematical function here. So if I don't want like a fixed value of pressure, I can make a pressure distribution that in this case is based on an elliptical distribution. We can run that simulation. We can look at the deformation. There you can see the mesh if you want to. You can see it does a pretty good job of just meshing right out of the box without any tweaks. But if you want to tweak it, you can. And you can get lots of engineering insights extremely quickly from that CAD assembly, which is created in Onshape.
Yeah, I can't imagine going through and trying to mesh that entire wing assembly. That would probably take a couple days, right, to get it all figured out and
properly. In some cases it'll be weeks.
Yeah, I've heard that some companies actually employed analysts just to do the mesh for these things. That's insane. Well, that's a great little introduction to OnScale, and thanks for.
We got one more video.
Oh yeah, we're not done. We're not done yet, Aaron. We've got another video we're going to show here.
So this is a pair of eyeglasses. You can see that this is an assembly. Got a couple of parts in there. It's fairly complex CAD model. Lots of different features that we've created, and most importantly, we'll show you how we've created the mates here. So I'll go to the assembly view, and I've already pulled in all my parts into the Onshape assembly and set up the mates and everything. We put some Revolute mates on the hinges, as you'd expect. So they actually work as you would expect real glasses to work. And then what we'll show is that we'll import this into OnScale, and we'll actually detect those mates. Very soon we'll have the ability to automatically detect them. Right now we can actually see them from the Onshape API. So I'm going to set them up in a manual fashion here, but we actually put in the same Revolute mates that you see in that Onshape model, and that'll mimic the physics. Because really what you're interested in is how these non-bonded parts will move relative to each other, and what type of force that they will impart on the structure to make sure that it's strong enough. You don't want your glasses to fail. Everybody hates that. And here's what the resulting simulation looks like from that non-bonded, pretty complex Revolute mate scenario.
That's fantastic. I haven't actually seen that yet, so I'm really thrilled to get a preview. Is this a preview, or is this released yet?
This is coming very, very soon. They told me it'll be on the next sprint, so I want you guys to go. I think by the time that this podcast goes live, it'll be available in the product. Yeah, so we're really excited to show you this. And you can just see the deformation there as the thing is free to slide around. Just super cool.
Fantastic. That's going to help setup happen that much faster.
Yep.
Kudos to the OnScale team. That's fantastic.
Thanks. Thought you liked that.
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
So is there a trial that someone can take advantage of?
Yes. If you go to, you can actually add us to your Onshape account through the App Store, which is great. Everybody gets a free 10 core hours per month. A core hour is kind of like our currency for simulation. If you're an Onshape Pro and above user, there's also an Onshape 500 coupon that you can take advantage of and get 500 core hours. So that's a lot of simulation power to do all sorts of simulations, FEA, CFD, multi-body dynamics like you just saw here with complex connectors. So, I encourage you guys to go try it out and get in touch with us. There's our website there if you hit any snags.
Awesome. Yeah, I seem to recall there was a fantastic video promoting the 500 core hour promotion. Yeah. So if you're a professional user, yeah, I'm just
and all done in the cloud.
Pat on the back. Yep. It's all done on the cloud. I mean, your sprints are probably a similar time frame as ours, right? 3-6 weeks. You guys have a new release, and you're bringing all kinds of functionality every single time, and it's very exciting to see. Is there other news that you want to talk about, or?
Well, you guys may have heard we got acquired by Ansys recently, and we're really excited about that because we put together what I think is the world's best engineering simulation platform, cloud simulation. Ansys, as you guys know, has a ton of the world's best solvers, mechanical solvers, TFT solvers, EM, fatigue, you name it, they've got it somewhere. And what we're going to do next is start putting that capability into OnScale. So this product is going to get a lot better, a lot quicker than anyone anticipated.
Yeah, we're we're so excited for that, partnership. I mean, you guys are going to be able to deliver so much more with that big backing that Ansys brings. And,
Absolutely.
I don't think it's there's any doubt that Ansys is, a premier simulation CAE tool in companies. So that's just great. So
yeah, and they just picked up a great product too. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, as an engineer myself, I'm super pumped about what we're gonna build together, and I think it truly is the future of engineering. And I couldn't be more happier with the integration with Onshape. I think having that whole workflow on the cloud, inside of a web browser, do it from anywhere, collaborate, share simulation results. I mean, share CAD models. It's going to be an amazing future for engineers everywhere.
Yeah, exciting times ahead. Well, thanks very much, Ian. We appreciate you being on the show. Good stuff that you showed here. And
thanks, guys.
Like I say, hopefully we'll get to talk to you again.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thanks, Ian. See ya.
All right. Well, that was a great little show that we had there. 3 exciting Onshape partners. Some really good visuals there. I love the Phi video there. Like I said, makes it even possible for a guy like me that can't do surfacing to save his life to actually do surfacing. So
yeah,
looking forward to giving that a try. So we're going to finish up the show with our Tech Tip Tuesday. Aaron, you're more than welcome to stick around for this. We're going to bring in one of our principal technical services engineers. Please welcome Matt Rohrer.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
You were muted.
I am muted. Hello.
I think that's the first time in 20 episodes somebody had to say that. Thanks for coming on, Matt. We sure appreciate it.
Great to see you.
How you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Not too shabby. So you are responsible for the tech tip that we're going to show this week, and I am going to go ahead and bring up a website on the show here. The tech tip: how to use the fill pattern custom feature. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this tech tip and how you figured it all out?
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, this is great timing because I'm here with Keith earlier mentioned feature script, and so feature script is a hot topic around Onshape these days. We just launched a great learning center tutorial, and that one of the many very useful custom features that is available for all of our users is the fill pattern custom feature, which gives you the ability to pattern seed faces within a boundary face, and essentially create as many instances as you need to fill up that surface. And you see in the hero image here is just a perf pattern on a sheet metal part. So it's very useful for perforations, textures, any number of cases where you need to create some sort of repeating geometry. A lot of times I've seen customers try to use linear patterns and a kind of a combination of linear patterns. This is a much more straightforward approach. So if you can, and I would recommend if you watch the video, I know we have the video available in several places, but go to this link on the screen here, and you can actually get the link to the custom feature in the post and add it to your interface, and then you can just make use of it. So it's really simple. You just have to sketch your first or create your first feature. So in this case, I just created one little cut, and then you pick the face that you want to pattern it. And it'll fill up that face, the face with as many instances as you can. You can define the spacing between those and also the shape of the pattern. The sort of advanced tip that I added at the end of this. So I may not want to fill up this entire face with these little hexagon cuts. Maybe I just want to do some little section where I have a fan or some something that needs ventilation. So what I recommend in that case is you can actually just use the split feature. Maybe we scroll down, we can see the image. There it is. So you use the split features, just create a sketch that represents your boundary, split that face, and just select that single face for the perf pattern. If you want to clean up that extra edge afterwards, you can go ahead and use the delete face feature with the heal option, and removes that extra edge, and everything will look perfect.
Nice, very nice. And the link that I put up there on the screen, that gets you access to all of the Onshape tech tips. We have a new one that comes out every Tuesday, usually written up by one of our technical services engineers. And I want to thank Jocelyn Willis for her idea of us having the Tuesday tech tip on the podcast every now and then. So we really appreciate that, Jocelyn. We appreciate you, Matt, coming on and showing us that. And for the folks listening out there, you can find onshape.com way at the bottom of the page. You can find, or at the top of the page under resources, you'll find the tech tips if you're listening and you don't see the URL on there. Well, Matt, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming on. Let's bring everybody back on the show that's still here. It looks like just Stefanos. So that was a great show, everybody. I want to thank everybody that showed up. Ian and Keith, thank you. I know you had to go, but thanks very much. And Stefanos, thanks for being a guest. Matt with the tech tip. And Aaron, you did a great job interviewing all of our guests today. And I really appreciate that because this flying solo thing is not for me. I look forward to having Michael back on the show with the next episode. Please, everybody, subscribe, hit the like button for us, and catch us on our next show in a couple of weeks. So long, everybody.
See you, Stefanos.
Thank you so much.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.